What's up everyone, it's Airstuff FPV here, and today I'm proud to share the build video of my home-built short takeoff and landing bush plane with FPV. It's a very simple to build foam-board aircraft with a 2.2 meter wingspan, an all-up weight of 3 kilograms, FPV and flight controller equipment, and custom landing gear for smooth controlled takeoffs and landings for a variety of conditions. Bite stick airfoil, the 3 kilogram airplane can be flown regularly on 4S batteries, but with 6S batteries it enables you to perform very short takeoffs and cruise along with well over twice its own weight, which is a great advantage for carrying additional payloads or flying standard range missions. Whether you're into pure manual flying or want to gear it up with a flight controller and GPS for simple waypoints and return to home, this aircraft can be built and customized however you'd like by its conventional airframe and internal capacity. Add some LED lights for night flights or visibility and you've got yourself the ultimate custom FPV bush plane too, ready for any adventures even in flight you can think of. Making it possible to design, build, and fly this beast of an FPV plane was something that each individual mentioned here contributed to since my latest build video. So thank you very much to each one of you, and I really appreciate the support. If you guys would like to support me as well, feel free to become a member and enjoy the content which is set apart for supporters, or bring me coffee to think about the next design. For anyone who wants plans or a 3D version, I've built it in Onshape as well if you want a closer look throughout the airframe and basic dimensions but without the electronics. But how I installed those will be shown in a different overview after we finished building the airframe. For crafting this build, you'll need a hot glue gun, small and large rulers, scissors, and a drill. And the materials for this build consist of 5mm thick foam board, an XPS foam board, which is basically paperless foam board, blank ID cards, paint sticks or wooden rulers, and tape. And for the electronics, you'll need your brushless motor, which is preferably a 50-55 size with a 400 to 700 kV range. You'll need your electronic speed controller, of course, which I'd be recommending between 60 and 100 amps if run on 6-cell. You'll need your receiver, of course, metal geared servos, and you could implement an FPV camera and transmitter too if you immediately want to fly FPV with it. I've directly linked the electrical components that I've used in this build in the description and comment section. So I'm going to start constructing the fuselage first with the experimental airlines building technique. If you guys are not familiar, there will be a link popping up at the top right. I'm going to use blue packing tape as the color for this fuselage, and here are your dimensions for it. So the first thing that you always do is just cover the outside part of your fuselage with the packing tape, flip it over, and then kind of like halfway score through the foam board and widen the cut, although that's my technique, and then fold it into the shape that's going to be. And then following the experimental airlines building technique, I just take an inner former and glue that in place while the tape holds the shape. And then the first part of your fuselage should be finished after the glue dried up. So next, to join the two fuselage parts together, I tape them where they're gonna be glued together, if that makes sense, and then see if everything is aligned perfectly. When everything is aligned perfectly by tape, I just carefully score out and then cut out an opening that primarily served as to insert the paint sticks, to internally glue the paint sticks to the sides and at the bottom to permanently bond the two fuselage halves together, and afterwards that opening would be a soon-to-be hatch as well, in which I could internalize electronics and install my flight controller or receiver later on. So after I finish the fuselage, I'm going to start with the stabilizers. When the stabilizers are finished, I would glue them on the fuselage. And here you guys observe the same procedure by taping the foam board surface with the packing tape, mainly for looks, but also for strength, durability. And then afterwards for the stabilizers, it's much easier to construct, of course, because then you would just cut out the shape and then free up the hinge for the control surface to move freely in both directions. And then afterwards it's just gluing the vertical stabilizer upon the horizontal stabilizer, and then it's just basically reinforcing that structure and then gluing upon the fuselage. And then after I glued the tail structure on the fuselage and reinforced that and basically finished it, I went ahead and installed all the electronics, and here you got an overview of what I installed. So of course the motor and its motor mount, an internalized speed controller. I also implemented a UBEC system to power all the servos and everything else. I'll also install the flight controller, the FPV gear, GPS, completely finished the fuselage until the wings were left that we're gonna build next. So in this video fragment, I basically demonstrate what I have thought about for the landing gear, because that is not going to be permanent on the fuselage. It's basically this attach detach system, the same way on which you would mount your main wing on and then rubber band it on. And then the same for the landing gear, but then underneath the fuselage. So it's basically two plastic cards glued at the side of the fuselage to hold the front part of the landing gear. And then behind that is a carbon rod that kind of like extends through the fuselage. And that is of course for the rubber bands to hold the landing gear in place. So here are your dimensions for the wings. You're gonna be building two outer wings from XPS foam. That's the lighter version of the foam board that we're gonna use. And then 170 centimeter center wing that's gonna be foam board. So the ailerons are gonna be depicted here, which are gonna be having a width of 2 inches. And then the inner part could be used for flaps, but I kind of left that as is because the airfoil is quite thick enough for high lift anyway. But they're always there and kind of like installed on the wing when I would need to fly with flaps someday. So the way we're gonna build our wings is also very similar, or is actually exactly the same as how you build your wings with the Experimental Airlines building technique. And it will be shown in this fragment, but we're gonna install 4 small formers at the bottom and then 2 wide or big formers at the top. Then fold the other half over the formers when we applied glue to that, and then finish the wing up. Do the same procedure, the exact same construction procedure with the formers and everything for the other 2 wing halves. And then when that is finished up, you would basically start with your control surfaces and your hinges. And when everything's finished up, you could join your wing halves with a 1.5 or 2 meter wing spar. So here's an overview of my electrical setup with just a receiver for control and a UBEC for providing smooth voltage and enough amperage to the servos hooked to the large control surfaces. So from now on, I'll leave you guys with the flight footage on different days with this aircraft, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video and are inspired to build one for yourself. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to ask because I'm quick to reply. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and go through my different videos if you want to see more of these builds, and I'll see you guys in the next video. So the first step is to get one of the rubber bands and attach the landing gear to the airframe. You insert it in the front like this, connected with a rubber band. So here's the center wing. We're gonna get the 2 meter by 10 millimeters thick aluminum tube. I'm going to get the left wing in, plug in the cable, and let that disappear into the wing structure like so. And then later on actually right now, put some tape over the wing. Warp that underneath the wing. Could actually see a bit of the cable, which is not optimal. The right servo responded and the left as well. Those are very good signs. And now I could safely put the rubber bands over the plane and then actually fly it. Left, right, up, down. Huge rudder, looking good as well. Flaperon as pitch mix. Woo! Look at that. Oh, that was sketch though. Oh, nice. Nice. Woo! Oh, nice. Yeah, I really gotta watch out for that. Oh, yep. think the prop's on loose. Oh, this is going to be disastrous, isn't it? Please float. All right, I'm taking that. I heard them, yeah. So this happened, guys. The prop's kind of like loose on there. I hadn't tightened it up enough. Whew, nice. Keep on going.